This video was about how to replace an LED screen or a screen in the Asus X551CA laptop. The first step is to unplug it, which I assume you're good with, and the second step is to take out the battery, which turns out to be one of the trickiest steps. So unlike most laptops, you can't just pop this thing out. You've got to unscrew the back and take off the keyboard and take out the battery. So I've unscrewed it. That was easy. And then this keyboard comes up just like this. Here's the thing. Don't do what I did. When you get it unscrewed, very gently, very slightly lift it up. The battery will be here. This is the battery. It will be in this compartment. You're going to want to pull it straight up. It's got these weird teeth, but they just pull out, and then they're going to go right back in. You want to pull it straight out. So that's supposedly easy. Seems like it'll work. You just got a couple screws at the back, then this thing pops off. It has little catches on it, little clips. So you're going to have to kind of slide your finger under there and pop them. They just snap tight. There's nothing. Once you get your screws out, it's going to be snap tight. That's a problem. That's not a problem. The problem is what I've done, and I'm trying to get you not to do, is pull on this thing. That shouldn't be here. This is a ribbon connector. Here's another one, and here's another one. And they all slipped out of their connections when I yanked. And so this keyboard is gently put in here. I'm not going to pull it up again. I've done it twice, if you can believe it. Getting this battery out, again, was tricky. From the looks of it, it should just pull straight up. I actually had problems doing that. I ended up even unscrewing the motherboard a little, then it gave me room to pull it out. But hopefully, now that I know how it goes, you shouldn't have to do that. You should just pull straight out. It's just a matter of getting to it. Now, next step is to get the screen off. There are two little screw covers here. They're just simple little, like, they're not glued on even, they're just a sticky tape on. I just need to pull this off and then reveal the two screws. So these two screws are just covered by these little sticky squares. All I'm doing is I'm taking a little screwdriver and I'm just slipping it out and pulling it off. I'm going to get this little sticky square off so I can show it. Little sticky square, that's all. It's a little bit of glue on it. Just covers it up. Stupid cosmetic thing. Now I'm going to unscrew these little Phillips screws. Alright, now the two screws are out. That was just simple screws. Now we're taking a flathead, little tiny flathead, and slip it in the side because there are a bunch of clips. These things are clipped in with those plastic tabs. It's looking good. Just to let you know where I am, I have unscrewed those two bottoms off, of course, and then I am now pulling this apart, and they are popping one after another. They're little tabs, little plastic tabs stuck inside. When I get it all off, I'll be able to show you what the tabs look like exactly. I'm just popping them. Okay, I'm continuing to working on loosening all around. I have, as I said, got the 3/4, but I've also got most of the bottom off. The trick was that I had to come up on this side and on the both sides. There are snaps on the top and on the bottom. I got to snap them both. I now have everything off except right at where the laptop comes down, these two pieces. There's something else I still have there. I assume it's two more snaps. I can't quite get the right angle. I want to be gentle because I don't even know what's behind there. I don't want to scratch something that's back there. Well, I've been going for a long time trying to figure out the problem, and there was no problem. Here is the bezel off. These are the hinge covers. They go on top of the hinges, and I was trying to figure out how to pull them apart or whatever, but it was not that at all. I just had one more clip here that was making it appear as if it wouldn't come off. As soon as I popped off all the way around, so I popped off got a little screwdriver in there. There's actually a tool for this. I just called it a spudgel or something, but I just used a little screwdriver and gently pulled these out. Some people talk about wiggling it. And then when I got all the way around to the bottom one, I missed this one and I popped it out, and finally I got this bezel, what it's called, off. Now that I have the bezel off, I am looking at the LCD screen, and I have screws here, and screws here, and screws here, and screws here. Okay, so now I've removed all the screws around the screen, and I've revealed the back of the screen, which has the video connector. There's a video connector here. It's got a piece of tape over it. I'm pulling the tape off. And very gently getting at the video connector, which is under a piece of plastic. I'll pull that out of its holder. Okay, so it turned out that it was actually the wrong screen. It's just the connections that were wrong. It was almost the right model, just a tiny bit off. I sent it back to Laptop Screen and they sent me the new one. It took no time, about a week, even with the mistake. And so we're back putting it together, and the issue was the screen that was sent only had a few screws. This one is put in like so. There's these connections to the sides. It has screw holes actually in the screen itself. We're going to screw into the screen. Going to snap into these pieces, and then there are brackets that go on top, and then you're going to connect it to the laptop through these screw holes. But first we're going to have to screw these on. They're just little screws. We're just going to screw them on. No big deal. Just a screwdriver. That's the only tool we need this whole journey. Okay, so we screwed them back on, and this is the way you want it. You want this on the outside rather than on the inside. So this tag needs to be on the facing towards you, not back there. Of course, you'll know that because you took it apart, but just remember that it's going to be that direction. You're going to then attach it to these two here, same way. These guys will be on the outside. Screws on the side, screws in the front. Okay, all the brackets are screwed together. It's now time to reconnect the cable connector. Here's the cable, little piece of tape, and the connector on the back. I'm just going to slide it in and put the tape back down. But I don't think the tape's very sticky anymore. I might do something else for that. Okay, so the cable slides in from flat, that is, don't come from above, go slide along the bottom and slide in. Very gentle fit. The tape did actually stick again. By the way, having a second person is helpful. They can hold things while you're doing stuff, or you can hold stuff while they're doing stuff. So what remains to us now is to screw back in the screws to connect the thing back in. Okay, so now it's fully screwed. A few things to say are, when you take off your screen, these brackets are going to come off. They're not going to send you new brackets. Keep your brackets and keep your screws. There are two types of screws. There are bigger ones that go down here that you could hardly be able to tell they're bigger, but they're slightly bigger. Bigger ones here, and then the smaller ones all around. And they're just, again, slightly different. Ours have a little blue marking on them. I don't know if everyone's will. Okay, learn from my experience. It is important to have 4 screw holes down here, 4 screw holes down here. You want to leave the last screw hole all the way on the left, the one all the way on the right open, because that's what attaches on the outside. So you got 3 little ones inside. The 4th one will be after you snap tight your bevel. Okay, finish snap tightening, finish screwing the 2 screws on the ends, put the little stupid gluey things back on, and now the battery, pushing down, hoping that it goes in just as smoothly as it seems like it will in theory. And it did. Absolutely simple. It was getting it out that was the hard part. Remember that. Don't do it my way. Pull it out gently. Don't rip up those ribbon cables. Alright, now I'm going to put the top back on and screws on the bottom, and then I'm done.